Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Liz Lyuth.
I'm Eddie Connor, and this episode is about beating self-sabotage so that you get to live the life you want. And whether you know it or not, you have contradictions, or what we like to call butradictions to your desire, with resistance you may not be aware of. This show helps you become aware of it in the best, highest form possible. Right, Liz?
That's right, Eddie. And we hope everyone enjoys the show.
Very nice. Look at you.
Bad news. At one point or another, we have sabotaged our dreams and goals by default, Eddie. What do you think?
I think there's good news.
Well, tell me what the good news is.
The good news is once we are aware of how and why we sabotage ourselves, we can then change it for the better. I really do believe that once we're aware of how and why we accidentally sabotage, or we start to deliberately.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Then we're able to flip it. Now, these are ingrained habits that are leftovers from our past that no longer serve us.
That's true. So what's self-sabotage, sweetie?
For me, intuitively, it's when you contradict your desire and you're with resistance at the same time. It is when you continue to do an old habit or a pattern that you're aware of, and you keep doing it anyway. That's a form of absolute self-sabotage.
Yeah. You know, to me, self-sabotage is when you're doing something and you're loving it, but then all of a sudden you wreck your ability to complete the task. That's, to me, the sabotage is wrecking something, obstructing yourself, basically.
Give me an example.
Yeah. Okay, an example. Well, basically, I want to this job promotion, and I'm working hard, and I have all my paperwork done. I get everything going. I know all the information. And just before I get to the office, I leave my briefcase at home. I forgot to put gas in the car. Some things like that, little things. These are like practical imagery of what could happen. Things that are preventable, that you could avoid, but you don't.
Because
for whatever reason, that will stop you from achieving your success.
Listen, when even with this show, the last time I came over to film, I'm a punctual person.
You are. You're very punctual.
And then the last time or two is like gridlock on the freeway.
Oh yeah.
Then I understood what that was about because I got a visitation from my best friend, and it was on the anniversary of his passing. Sure. And the other time it was raining, and people don't drive very well in the rain here.
No, they don't.
And today I was hyper early. So I just sort of drove around and enjoyed my coffee. Okay. It's like
I do that too.
We have these patterns, and I used to be perpetually late, and now I'm almost always too early. But I still, if I got here 30 minutes before I was supposed to be, I would not knock on the door until the exact time I'm supposed to be here.
I'm exactly like that.
Because I think that's respect and courtesy. But the self-sabotage, the great example you gave is you have the job interview, you did all the prep work, and then there's this subconscious pattern that's somewhere in there that somebody hasn't elevated enough yet to like put gas in the car the day before. Today, I put all of the stuff in my car before the storm hit.
Oh, sure.
So that all I had to do was walk to the car with my hoodie.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Because everything's on time.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's expected. Well, we're just talking in the framework of a job.
Yep, in real time.
In real time. And so when you know all of this, you can prepare all of this, but you do things. And I want to say unconscious. Boom. It's the unconscious part. The subconscious is oh God, why didn't I put gas in yesterday? Why didn't I get money out of the bank so I can do this? Oh shoot, I should have had that. I should have ironed my shirt.
Yep.
I should have picked up my dry cleaning, and now I have to wear the suit that doesn't look as well.
Which ties into the conscious and subconscious.
Yes.
One of the biggest sabotaging behaviors is lack of time.
Yeah.
Or just time in general, because we have a relationship with everything throughout the universe and on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest relationships we have with is time. So that either means enough of it or not enough of it. There's two timelines with time, no pun intended.
Exactly.
But there's two timelines with everything: love, money, career, time. But I feel the same way you do. It's more of a subconscious thing, which you're not consciously aware of, that creates this habitual pattern of sabotaging yourself when you think you do everything physically correct.
So, when we were getting ready for this show, I like to do research, but I did look up several, definitions of sabotage. So the action of sabotaging something is a coordinated campaign of sabotage, destruction, obstruction, and wrecking. So if you think about that process, so you are going towards this one goal of success. And so therefore, by not doing these things, you are actually obstructing yourself.
Yes.
You are, I want to say sabotaging, but you are wrecking your opportunities to get to that final goal, which you set up for yourself.
Yes. Well, and again, everything has multiple timelines, especially two timelines. So if you're setting out to do, let's say, the job interview, and you do all the physical stuff right, what's going to meet you at your job interview first? Your physical body or your thoughts about the job interview? So your body doesn't arrive first. How you feel arrives first. What you thought about it
your
arrives
energy
first.
arrives first.
Yes, everything but your body arrives to the meeting before you ever get there. And so what is that energy? Everything you were worried about and everything you're excited about. Everything you dread, everything you love, everything you're prepared for, everything you're not prepared for. That whole bundle of energy meets you wherever you go with every subject in every area of your life.
But ultimately, it's the action that we're talking about. The ultimate action of all of this energy, all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all of how you take action, how you self-sabotage yourself. Right?
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Layu.
The title of this episode is Beating Self-Sabotage so that you get to live the life that you do want instead of what you don't want. Now, Liz is going to share some fun facts with you.
Our fun facts is that we don't intentionally block and stop our wants. We block them by default.
Yes.
Basic self-sabotage is looking at the good and the bad in the exact same time.
And sometimes it's physically looking at it. And sometimes it's stuff you don't know to look at because you might not be aware yet.
Yeah. So I'm really fond of saying you don't know what you don't know.
Right?
Right?
And until you know it, you're going to still continue to repeat patterns. You cannot heal something you don't know about and that you're not aware of.
And you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because even if you see it, if you don't acknowledge it, how can you how can you resolve it? How can you transform it?
Sometimes you acknowledge not the pattern, but the repetition of circumstances. And if you're smart enough to...
isn't pattern repetition?
Yes. What I'm saying is if the person doesn't and isn't aware of what they're doing, but they keep saying, why do I keep attracting jerks? Why do I keep attracting mechanics that lie to me? Then you are at least aware enough to know that it's you that's got a pattern somewhere. And if you dive deeper...
Okay, but what if they say, no, they don't, they know the pattern, they have the pattern, but they're saying... Oh no, I don't know.
All men are jerks.
Yeah. They keep saying that over and over and over again. I mean, come on.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
And we know that
Yeah.
Most of you who watch us and hear us, you know about the law of attraction, deliberate creation, the law of allowing, etc. Every day, there was a time where we didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And I was at least grateful enough to know that I knew and felt that I knew it enough to know that it all started and ended somehow with me.
Absolutely.
And I had to be the one to clean it up. I couldn't just cross my fingers and squeeze my ass cheeks together real tight and pray to baby Jesus.
Or snap your fingers. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen that way.
And pray that something good happened. You have to do the work and the energy forward to create it.
You don't want to have magical thinking. You want to just look at it authentically with yourself and see it for what it is. That these actions that you're taking are the ones that you chose. Correct?
Yes. And what is magical thinking? So I want to make sure I'm on the right page.
Okay. Well, magical thinking is like believing in something that's like
unicorns.
Yeah. It's like, well, no, I don't want to say that. It's like believing in something that you know is not going to happen. Like, let's say I'm 95 years old and I want to be Miss America. That's magical thinking. Okay.
Okay.
Something crazy like that, you know. So, or it's something that you know is not going to happen, but you're going to believe in it anyway. Like that. That would be a form of sabotage. Absolutely. Well, that's why magical thinking, that stops you.
See,
because you don't acknowledge it, you don't believe in it. You say it, you keep saying it over and over again, but it's not going to happen.
Here's a good example. My affirmations. I am thin and stealthy. I am thin and stealthy. I have lots of energy. People want to touch me in special places.
Yes.
All of those are contradictions to my own belief system. I think I wet my diaper just then.
You think that's magical thinking?
I think it's a sabotage and butt-predicted affirmations that work against me.
Yeah. Magical.
I can be a unicorn.
You can be a unicorn if you want.
I'd rather have candy corn. So our next segment is called Did You Know? Did you know that the universe always brings us perfect matches to our desires? Did you know?
Yes, I did know that.
And did you know that it brings it to you unconditionally?
Absolutely.
And did you know that it's responding to how you think and feel and act?
Yes.
Did you know that it's saying yes unconditionally to what you do and don't want at the exact same time, whether you're conscious or not conscious of it at all?
Yeah.
You know a lot, Liz. I'm very happy.
Are you?
I am. Almost had a little allergy flick come out of my nose. Okay. Did you know that the universe matches our desires 100% of the time without exception?
Absolutely.
I call that yes-ercising.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
She's just jumping right on the bed. Yes.
I'm teasing you. Yes.
I know.
Okay. Because you have to be committed 100% either way.
In order to do what?
To do whatever, for the universe to bring to you whatever you want.
I see.
You do see
Sometimes
what I'm saying?
we do say the same thing all the time,
but
and
in
it sounds
different
like
ways.
We're not.
Yeah.
And we are.
We are saying the same thing.
That's because we shiny, bright ass people.
But it's, you're committing yourself.
Okay, so. I'll commit myself after the show.
Okay.
Did you know? That's why it's important to happily monitor your thoughts and feelings about whatever subject you're choosing to look at. Because when you monitor it in a lighthearted way, meaning not being so serious, if you purposefully choose to monitor your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your behaviors, what you're pretending and daydreaming and acting, it literally watch every conversation, especially the ones you have with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been talking about. I think the last couple of shows that we've had, you play, you want to be kind to yourself, you want to be happy, you know, all of these things, daydreaming, like you mentioned, all of these things. This is important because what does it do, Eddie? It raises your frequency.
It raises your frequency. It integrates your right and left hemispheres of your brain, the creative with the logical. It integrates your heaven self with your earth self. It puts you back in touch with your higher self just for the joy of it. And the lighter you are and the more cognizant you are about playing in that creative artistic lightness, the more, again, Abraham Hicks would say, you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the stream of pure positive energy that creates universes. That's who you is.
That's who he is.
That's who you is. That's who
But
you are.
did you know, Eddie, a side effect of self-sabotage is working harder than everyone else, but not gaining momentum in real time?
Yes. Have you ever had that experience?
Oh, yeah.
When? Thursday. I'm asking for a friend.
I know. Have you?
Oh, God, yes. That was like the first 35 years of my life.
I know, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, give me an example, sister.
Side effects: working harder than everyone else, but not gaining momentum in real time. When you're raised with the belief that you're to be seen and not heard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Keep your mouth shut and speak when spoken to. And then you grow up as a young adult and an older adult, and every relationship, job, your money reflects that belief system back to you until you consciously elevate it to something better. So if I work this hard and I only make this much money, I need to look at it, be aware of it, and then build something bigger and better out of that so that I stop the self-sabotage.
That's a great example. Yeah. Yeah. I think an example I think of when you said that, I'm going like, yeah, I can work like not one job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs to get, to work as much as I can until my body gives out, and I'm earning this amount of money, but the amount of effort that I'm giving is like this much, but I'm only getting back this much. So very similar. And that, until I saw the pattern.
Yes.
Then you just keep repeating it over and over and over again.
And how you see that particular pattern at first, the two that we're speaking about, is you will look at it through the lens of unfairness.
Yes.
That why am I working harder than other people on the team and making less and they're making more? How come I'm coming to work early? I don't take lunches. I don't take breaks, but I'm still making less than everybody else. How come I get reprimanded and nobody else does?
Yeah.
Meaning as you will see it first through the lens of this doesn't look or feel fair. And that is part of the awareness.
Yeah, it is.
And instead of saying it's not fair that this person does this and my boss doesn't look at it, you have to go back inside and go, what am I thinking and vibrating? What am I feeling and vibrating that's accidentally creating this imbalance in my life? And sometimes you don't like the answer.
No, it is. And, I was just thinking something. I've just lost it, but I'm just...
Here it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Eddie.
You're welcome. I just had a flashback of
it's like
a flashback
heart chakra.
Yeah, well, I was just picturing Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
So
your eyes
so
like, okay.
So that Go ahead, sister.
Go ahead, sister.
Go ahead, sister.
Sister, go ahead.
Today
sister.
we're sharing. Today we're sharing. Today we're sharing appreciation amnesia.
Okay.
Negative self-talk and negative beliefs.
Yep, we are. We're also sharing, this is one of my favorite things. Y'all think I'm butt happy. Well, I am butt happy, but I wrote a book about butts, and this is one of the things in it. It's called Invisi-BUTS. And we're going to tell you what an Invisi-BUT is, because sometimes you can't see it, you just feel it. And then we're going to talk about, this is going to be one of my favorite ones, giving and receiving ratio, and how you can get back into a balanced giving and receiving ratio so that you don't sabotage yourself. And then also paying attention to your desire versus your resistance. So let's launch this with appreciation amnesia. It's pretty self-explanatory. It is when you almost purposefully choose to look at the 9,999.9 things that are not working for you instead of looking at the 800 billion things that
are working for you. Okay.
Yeah. So appreciation amnesia is when it's literally like you forget to be grateful for the oxygen you're breathing. You forget to feel thankful for where you are in life or how you got from point A to point B. You forget to be thankful, grateful, or appreciative for the water in your shower being the temperature you want it to be.
I also, you forget to appreciate the accolades that you're already getting. Let's say you're very high, you're very successful from the outside looking in. You forget to say, oh my God, what did I accomplish in my life? What have I accomplished from the time I came from here to here?
That's one of the best things.
That is really important.
It is.
Yeah.
I call that think it, ink it for this reason. Most people do sin-ventories. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. My man done left me. He left with my sister, and then they drove off in their Ford Pinto, and they took the baby with them. I forgot what I was saying.
Okay, appreciation amnesia, okay?
I knew what the topic was. I forgot what happened when they got in the Pinto.
Forgetting the accolades that you get.
Yeah. What she said.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The next, negative self-talk.
It's going to drive me crazy because it probably went to the same universe yours went to.
I know, and I remember that afterwards. No, what I was going to say is that you yourself know as a soul, there's something not right. There's something wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. And so it just take a few moments just to look at that. There's something there, right?
Yes.
And you just don't know. Anyway, that was before.
So here
Go
it
ahead.
is. Inventory.
What is it?
There's a sin-ventory, low frequency. There's a win-ventory, high frequency. And think it, ink it is when you write down, hand write on a piece of paper so that you integrate the right and left hemispheres of the brain, the heart, the heaven, and the earth, all in one. So your inner light gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And most people keep track of what's not working. But when you do a win-ventory, what feels like a win inside of you, of those accolades, of those art trophies, of those contests, of those dance competitions, of those color guard championships, in other areas where you were shining, all of the trophies and awards and plaques and recognition and bonuses you got at your previous occupations, your previous jobs, when you sit still and you write those down, you are the antithesis of appreciation amnesia.
Yeah.
You are literally it's almost like soul gratitude. It's like solitude attitude. And it changes everything. Within 17 seconds of feeling good, you're already 2,000 action hours closer to the end result you're going for anyway. And if you can hold that same win-ventory soul attribute frequency for 68 consistent seconds, Abraham talks about this 4 sets of 17, that's 68 seconds. At the end of the 68th second, you have what I call energetic multiple orgasmic combustion points. Okay. And when you get to the end of the 68 seconds, you're in that high frequency output and you are summoning the energy that creates worlds. And you're 2 million action hours closer to the end result you want. 68 seconds at a time, 68 seconds in the morning, 68 seconds in the evening, doing win-ventories instead of looking at what's not working.
That's right. I also want to bring up, that's a very good point, Eddie, that Eddie says it like think it and ink it. When you're journaling with yourself or you just want to take a pad, this is a good practice. I used to do this all the time. When you want to write down what's going on in your life and acknowledging the positive aspects of your life, your accolades, your accomplishments. Also, if it didn't turn out so well, write a new ending. Write a new ending for yourself. The universe doesn't know that it didn't end that way. You begin to write it down. And also what we want to bring up, and I think we brought it up in a couple of shows before, once you write something, it will help manifest it. It takes it out of here and into the real world. Secondly, when you write a story, a positive story, as opposed to your negative story you may have in your head, it will help change the energy. all of this will help change it. So it's just another exercise.
It
That's
is.
all.
And remember, there's 2 timelines that run with every single subject that's important to you. There's a high frequency band, there's a low frequency band. They exist simultaneously. It's going to be, what are you going to choose to tune into and tap into to write about or to integrate your soul, human self with? And appreciation amnesia, which just means you literally have forgotten to deliberately appreciate anything.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So negative self-talk kind of goes into that too, because if you got on a jag where you're constantly,
Downing yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not. Sometimes it's doubting yourself. Other times it's a whiny, sucky, bitchy, moany fest.
Well, talking bad about yourself, that you didn't do this, you
Or
didn't do
other
that,
people.
Exactly, that too.
I don't do that.
Yeah. I know you don't.
I don't ever.
And then I want to say that goes into negative beliefs.
Yes.
That does. The negative talk and negative beliefs, they kind of like hand in hand together.
I did a workshop a long time ago, and there was a couple there, and she asked, we were talking about gossiping.
Sure.
And negative self-talk and judging other people at work that aren't working as hard as you do. And we've all had those moments.
Of
We've all
course.
had those thoughts.
Yeah.
Her favorite thing to do was to congregate at the water cooler and take inventory, inventory of everything that wasn't working.
Oh, wow.
And then she argued and argued and argued. But it's fun. But it feels good. I like it. I'm the queen of the watercolor.
Really?
And I was like, you got a whole set of problems that we ain't even talking about today. But here it is.
Yeah.
The high you get from that is this big.
Yeah.
And they're just little bursts of energy that make you feel better about yourself in that moment over somebody else's well-being.
So you're comparing yourself to somebody else, but at the expense of somebody else.
And competing with them too.
Oh, that's terrible.
And it's a false sense of security that lasts for 3.5 seconds, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. And
Not to judge.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I ain't judging that bitch.
Okay.
I don't do that. I'm a spiritual person. And so the next one is one of my favorites.
Okay, tell us all about it, Eddie.
So Invisi-BUTS.
What is Invisi-BUTS?
Invisi-BUTS is when I was a dancer for decades. And Invisi-BUTS, and by the way, I was not this person because I'm this weird, I want everybody to be okay person. I say it just like that too. And so back when I was dancing, the thing I noticed the most about dancers is body dysmorphia, number one.
Yeah.
And how people who are doing negative self-talk by sabotage, thinking negative beliefs about themselves, what they do is they start comparing and competing with the other people whom they feel have a better body than them, or are prettier than they are, or their grand jeté is higher than theirs is, or their détirés, or whatever it is. So Invisi-BUTS is jealousy. It is insecurity. It is judgment. It is comparing. It is competing. And it is one-upmanshipness.
That's kind of like the example you gave earlier. Those attributes. When you talked about that woman, she was competing.
Oh, at the water cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just plain old meanness.
Well, but
Invisi-BUTS is something that's internal that you like.
Do?
Well, everybody does it. Everybody has Invisi-BUTS. And some of us have a lot of them. When I first moved here, one of the things I did a reading for a producer, and she brought me in to do a pilot for this thing called Psychic News. And I loved her. She loved me. I felt safe with her. She felt safe with me. We go down to where we're going to be filming it. They gave us a topic, and then we had to tune into it. And child, I know I look like I'm outgoing and all happy and twinkly and stuff, but I am an introvert and I am very shy. I had just moved here fresh off the turnip truck from North Carolina. And I moved to not Beverly, but Reseda. So I had 3 strikes against me right there.
Okay.
And I love Reseda, actually. And long story, I say I love a lot of things that I Because I have love relationships now, not hate relationships. Because I'm a highly evolved spiritual being like my friend Liz.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I went down to the filming of it. I walked in. Every household psychic, every household brand medium, every household numerologist, every famous person I'd been watching on TV from the break room as a visual marketing designer in North Kakalaki with my visual marketing designer friends is now there. And household names and me. And I'm like, and the closer it got for my time on camera with all of the big movie cameras and all of this on, I was like, and I broke out in hives.
Oh, no.
It was terrifying. I sound like Katharine Hepburn on Speed divided by X-lax. It was terrifying. And so Joan came up to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I'm not okay. I can't do this. I said, these people are here and I am here. Now, I wasn't negatively competing about them like this person and this person. It was all on me.
Okay, so you were self-sabotaging yourself.
Self-sabotaging me. I wasn't comparing myself to them and making them wrong or bad or awful. It was all directed back inward.
Yeah.
She pulled me to the men's room and she, and she said, I said, "I'm going to leave. I'm just letting you know I'm going to leave. I'm a very responsible person." And she said, "No, you're not. You're not going to leave." And she kept this tone here, which is very high, but very calm. And she was talking to me while she was pulling me toward the anchor desk.
Yeah.
And she set me down and she kept talking and she backed out of the shot. "You've got this, reinforce it, and action."
Yeah.
And then you know what happened?
Tell me, Addie.
I'm a worker.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a worker,
so you put right into that slot.
So the second, it's not about you, Addie. It's about how you can be of service as a spiritual being to humanity.
Right. That's right.
And it was like, well, what's going to happen in Indonesia in 3 days is, and that just came out and they said, and cut. Then I had my nervous breakdown and needed some more Imodium AD. But it's okay. They make Depends for us big girls too. Okay.
No, but yeah, isn't it interesting how certain situations will put you in and you're okay?
Oh,
you just have to get to that. You have to just cross over that threshold.
Yeah.
And you're okay.
Because my good kid belief is you are not to be the center of attention.
That's right.
You're not to be seen. You cannot be heard.
And you can't be successful.
But you can work your ass off like a dog.
That's right.
And as soon as she said, boom, that part of me took over. That personality came in over. That I had pride in.
Yeah.
And took over. And the second it was over, then the little boy came back in the room.
Exactly.
But I delivered the goods. Now, the pilot never went anywhere, but it could have.
But every step is a step towards what it is you're going to finally achieve.
And you've heard us on this show say the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, will never give you anything you can't handle.
That's for sure.
Even when you think you can't, there's always some earth angel or other invisible force or both that pulls you into that slot you were destined to be in, whether your current beliefs or past beliefs allow it or not, until it clicks.
Till it happens, because it'll pull you back into the path.
Yes.
You think it's over with, they'll bring you right back to the path.
Every single time.
Every single time.
The next one is balancing your giving and receiving ratio. So here's a question for everybody out there in podcast land.
Mm-hmm.
If you are hired to do a job at $200,000 a year and you accept that job, are you going to give them $1.5 million worth of your time, effort, energy, and frequency? Or are you going to give them the $250,000 they hired you for?
Interesting question.
What did you used to do?
Oh, well, you know me. You know what I did.
That's why I'm asking.
I would give the 1 million, blah, blah, blah.
And what happened?
And then some.
Yes. And so if the giving and receiving ratio is the most important, it's not the most, but it's one of the most important, because if you're hired for 250 and you give them 1.5, you yourself innocently, accidentally created a gigantic imbalance with, they said, we're going to pay you this. And if you come in and give them this and keep giving them this while they're giving you this, they're going to expect it, and you will deliver on it. But you're going to create the biggest imbalance, and then you're going to start feeling resentment. Then you're going to have the Invisi-BUTS come and gnaw your ass off. Then you're going to be riddled with some appreciation amnesia, and you're going to stop paying attention. You'll start paying attention to what's not working.
So you're building the deficit. You're building a deficit. So that deficit, there's just no way that you can pay it back. There's just no way that you then eventually it impacts your physical form, your physical body, and you become ill.
That's right.
So dis-ease.
And here's the exact same thing. I love that you said that.
Yeah.
What if you're paid $1.5 million to do a job, but you're only delivering $250,000? That's another deficit. There has to be an exchange of energy,
a balance.
Listen, and your spirit knows when the imbalance is not there.
Oh, yeah.
Your soul knows it. Your spirit, your inner being, your subconscious, your conscious, and your super consciousness.
Sure.
You're the one who has to get you on track with that being in syncness. Now, I just love this so much. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyuk.
This show is about beating self-sabotage so that you can live the life you want. We're going to do a recap, and then I'm going to ask our friend Liz here what her favorite thing was about the whole show. So today we're sharing appreciation amnesia. Which is when you literally forget to appreciate by some weird thing.
What did you say?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I called you weird, girl.
Negative self-talk.
Which we do all the time, but we're monitoring it and we're flipping the script.
Negative beliefs.
Same goes back to the self-talk. They are not separate from each other, but they feel like they are, but they really aren't.
Yeah.
The next one is Invisi-BUTS, which is what? An Invisi-BUT is a contradiction to your heart's desire, because you're looking at what you don't want while you're talking about what you do want. Your giving and receiving ratio is one of my favorite things on planet Earth. Think of the symbol of the yin yang symbol.
Well, that's a good analogy for that.
And you play with the balance and alignment of that. I like the word alignment better than I like the word balance personally. And then paying attention is not what we're talking about. Play attention to your desires more often. When you pay attention to your desires and you're integrated, your beliefs and your self-talk are positive, the appreciation amnesia goes away and your appreciation comes back. You eliminate the Invisi-BUTS, and then you are in the receiving mode. And on that note, what's your favorite part of the show today?
My favorite part of the show was, I want to say, talking about appreciation amnesia. I think that was very good. That a lot of people, I think, get some clarification on that, because they don't know that they don't know they're doing it. So therefore, they can wake themselves up.
And this whole podcast is about doing just that. Yeah. It's waking yourself up gently. Listen, would you go into the nursery and grab the crib and jolt it and go, "Wake up!" to a baby? I mean, you might do it once.
Well, no, you would never do that.
You would never do that and not get good results.
Yeah,
You're not going to do it and get a good result.
Exactly.
So when you're waking up in these principles, we love to share with you, be gentle. Literally, be ye as a child. You're your mother, father right now into your inner child. You're the authority of your reality. It's all about what tone are you going to use with you so that you create more of what you want. And the moment you use that tone, what's going to happen is every person, place, circumstance, situation, and environment, physically and invisibly, shape shifts, it changes, and you start pulling higher, better quality of people to you in every area of your life, even if you're sitting in traffic on the 405.
Yeah, kindness, happiness, anything that can make you feel good without at the expense of other people.
Well, of course.
But I mean, making yourself feel good, this is what it's all about. And great point.
Yep.
Do it gently.
Yep. My favorite part is the giving and receiving ratio.
Yeah.
I play with that all the time now in ways where I feel better about myself. I feel happy from the inside out.
Yeah, I could see that because, like, considering we were talking the last couple of weeks and talking about the 7 and under child,
the good kid syndrome.
This all fits in with it. That you can now look back. You can examine your life and look back, which we always do. This is that time of year, beginning of the year, and you kind of look back and see, did I accomplish my goals? Did I not? Am I still acting in the old way?
That's right.
What can I do to renew myself, to, have a different experience, right?
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it. And so by doing all of those things, you've awakened, right? Isn't that what it's about?
That's the purpose. It's all about awakening gently, easily, joyously, in a relaxed manner.
That's right.
Wow. I'm going to go meditate.
Okay, me too.
I'm going to empty my whole mind out of Ford Pintos
of garbage and
hot, spicy Cheetos. I might try that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like spicy Cheetos.
Really? Make you gassy?
No, it just
You don't appreciate gas?
Burns.
Is that an Invisi-BUT for you? Does it burn your Invisi-BUT?
Caliente. Caliente.
Please, if you still respect us after that little exchange, come back and check us out next week. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyon.
You've been watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. And this episode is all about how you can beat self-sabotage. And until we see you next week, please remember to keep those thoughts, feelings, and frequencies high, fast, and pure so that you can unlock the universe within. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.